This is Sharia Rabit. I hope you shall be fine. So I think you are in the second step of this creating and cloning the repositories. So this is right now. I think you cloned your empty repository to C users and VJ. Now if I go here, so this is my C user and Sharia. This is my folder. I would suggest you make a new folder here. Either you can do it like this and tell it repository, simple, or you can also do it via the git cmd. So right now if I open my git cmd, you can see that this will change the directory to your home directory, which is the c users widget. So you can make a new folder or a new directory with this mkdir. This is the git cmd command to make a new folder, and this would be the name of that folder. Let me just create a new folder, mkdir. What should I name it? Sample repository. Let me make this one capital R. If I create it, now if I come back here and refresh it, you will see I have sample repository created. So in order to move everything inside this folder, let me change the directory to SAM, sample repository. Now I think I have uh, let me copy paste this, control C. Yes, now I am in my repository folder. In this folder, you should clone whatever you want to clone or copy the repository from the online, because if you just copy the repository here in C user Vijay, then you will see a lot of folders created alongside with these, and they will then mix up with these. So I am in my sample repository, and in the git cmd I am also in the sample repository. You can change this repository wherever you want, like I have created it in my XAMPP. So z XAMPP htdocs, this is the folder where I was working, esport ami. So then I made this repository like this, change the directory, go back once, go back twice, go back 3 times. So I am now in my C. If I go there, change directory to XAMPP, and then if I go there, htdocs docs, and then esport ami. So I'm now in this folder, which is htdocs and esport ami dash website. Here inside this folder I have cloned that repository. So let me go back. Yes, I'm in my c user share sample repository. Let me go back 3 times, then change directory to users share sample repository. What is it? Change directory to users change directory to sample repository. Okay, I'm now back in this sample repository. Now when I was practicing on, when I was first doing this, I had created this repository. If I go back here, so this is my Bitbucket account. Let me, as you can see, I have worked on quite a lot of repositories on Bitbucket. These are for some other client. This is the, I think, what you have created. This is the repository, because I'm also added in that, so I can also see that. That's 25 minutes ago. This is what I created for the first time. Let me go inside that. So I'm in my first repository now. So let me check how to copy it, because I don't copy that much. So I think, okay, it is saying that you go this, and this is where you clone the repository. Clone in the source tree. Now we will go on the copy, and where is my git cmd? I git cmd. Now if I paste it here, now you will see it is cloning my repository. As you can see, I had some files already created in this repository, so this repository was not completely empty, but in your case it was empty. So if you wanted to create a file, you could have created a new file. If I go to the source, now if I go back here, as you can see, the first repository has been created and it's there, and I have 3 files here. So the documentation should tell you how to create a file, and if you do not have created a file, at least now that you are then do not worry. Now that you have, let me just delete it from here. Let me create a new file here, text document, whatever the name it has. This is a sample file. Save it, and now if I am in the sample repository. Now if I check the git space as status, okay, I'm sorry, I think I've deleted the clone repository. Let me clone it again. I think in your case this should have been an empty folder, and there should be no file in the chat. This folder and this folder would be another underscore repository or whatever the name you have given it. Let me check. Yes, esport ami underscore another. This folder would be empty, but the folder should have been there, should be there. So if you create a new folder, new file, sample file, this is a sample file, save it. Now if I change the directory to first, now that you have cloned it, you have to change the directory, whatever the folder name is. In your case it would be esport ami underscore anar first dash repository. I'm inside that repository now. So if I check the git status, it will tell me that your branch is up to date with the master, but there is an untracked file inside it, which is the sample.txt file, which I just created after cloning it to this folder. So your folder would be empty, and if you create a file here, you will see that the file has been created. Now there are a couple of lines of code that you check. Always when you make some changes and save them, always use this git status to check which files have been tracked or which files have been not been tracked. So if I, in order to add this file, I think I have to, so as you can see, the next step after this was that you would have created a new file with some text in it and its name. This way, then again it tells you to check the git status, and this git status will tell you the same thing, that you have an untracked file, a new file created or whatever, and then you just add this file. Now after adding this file, you will have to commit this file as well. So let me just, you add any file like this, which is any new file that you have created. So let me just git add sample.txt. Now as you can see, nothing has appeared but an empty line. Now if I check the git status, you will see there is a new file which has been added, and it is telling you that there is some changes that need to be committed. Now you have added this file to the Git system, and the Git knows that there is a new file here which is inside, and now Git will track this file. But you still have not added this file to the online repository. For that, you do the git status, git commit. That means issue the git commit command with a commit message as shown in the next one. So this is how you do it: git forward slash commit and then minus m for the message. This is the message which will appear in the git, and these messages will help you track what you have done in this file or whatever the changes are. If I go back and if I go to the eSport AMI website repository, now if I go to the commits here, you see these are the messages that are shown here, in which these let you know what changes have you done in what commit, so you can easily track anything if in future anything goes wrong. So these messages are very important if you want to do that. It's a little bit of hesitation, a donkey work, but these are very helpful. So I will just now commit this file sample.txt, git space commit minus m, then space, and then in inverted commas I'll write my message. So I have a new text file. Now if I enter it, you will see one file change insertions. Now if I go back to my repositories, and if I go back to the first repository folder which I am currently doing the changes, and then in the commits, let me I think there is one more thing. Oh yes, I have not done this for a couple of months, so I just forgot. After the commit, you have done the message, then you have to push this to the online repository. So since I am right now, you will not have any branch. The main branch is called the master branch. If there are many people working on this, then you just create new branches like this, and then here you will see a new branch that someone is working on that new branch. So this just keeps the tracking of different developers. But I think you will be working on the main branch, so there is no need for that. So you just git push origin master. This will push it where? On the origin, which is the online repository, and on which branch? The master branch. Now if I master, sorry, not C. Now if I enter, it will take a little bit time. As you can see, it is compressing the data and it has pushed the file successfully. Now if I refresh this again, you will see my new changes are online. And if I click this commit, then it will give me the details of what has done. So I have created a new file. This is a sample file. This is the text within that file. Let me just now change this a little. Where is it? Yes, sample file. I have added a new line of code. Save it. Now go back to the git cmd, git status, check the status again, git status, enter. As you can see, it will not, now it will not say that there is an untracked file because this file is already being tracked, but it will only tell you that there are some changes in this particular file and you need to commit them and then push them to the origin. Now I will again git commit minus m, and again I will write my message. I have a line of code Okay, now I need to push this to the master branch. Git push origin and master. Everything up to date. Oops, sorry, I think I just did not add the file. Git add sample.txt. Git. Now it will give me a green star that you have added this file. Now if I again git, instead of writing the commit line again and again, you just simply can click the up arrow on your keyboard and it will start showing you the last few commands that you have written. So I have written this command already, so I do not need to write it again. If I enter now and then I now git push origin master. Now it has changed and now there will be a new commits. As you can see, I have it in. If I click this commit, I can see what are the changes that I have done. As you can see, this orange red part was the one that was written already earlier, and this is the new file. This was the old, this is the new version of the file, and in this new version of file, this dark green highlighted area is the one that I have added, and this light green is the one that was already there. So you can see whatever the changes you have done. If you can side by side difference, you can also check. So before, earlier it was like this, now it is like this. Close it, and this is where side by side difference. So this is how you just simply will have to push your files, and that's it. You'll have to do nothing much. But this is a slightly bit this will be a bit of headache for you, because for doing every little bit of change you will have to uh, do a commit, and then you will have to go to esportami.com. Like now it's right now it is not showing the coming soon page, but you will have to come here, refresh it, and then again check if your changes are working or not. I know this will be a little bit of headache, but this is how you will have to work on this right now. For every change, I think if you know what you are doing, then I think you will change 1/4 of the page and then save the changes, commit the file, add. So you first have to add the file where it is, like this, git add whatever the file. But before that, you should always check the git status. Git status will tell you in which folder and in which repository you have changed the files. Git, after checking the git status, you can then add the file like this. After adding the file, you will have to commit the file. Commit, and with commit you can add a little bit of message for your own sake. If in future you need to change that file again, or if you done something wrong, then you will know which part of the code you need to check to and where to check to. After that, you need to git push the origin. Now moving to the repositories is simple. If you have changed something in any other folder, then and you want to go back, then just simply change the directory, double dot and forward slash. This way you will go back a directory. As you can see, I was earlier in the first repository, now I'm in the sample repository. And if you again want to go to the first repository, change the directory, first dash repository, and now I am again in the first repository. So only 4 lines of code would be needed, but you will have to for the changes, if to check the changes are working or not, you will have to simply go there, and whatever the page that you are working on, you have to then click it and check if they are working. This is a little bit of headache, but this is how it works. I hope I have made it very clear. and I was also a little bit of lost when I was doing this because I have not done this in a couple of months. So pardon me for that. Thank you very much.